Welcome to Midlife Moves, where we're figuring out this whole midlife thing one day, one workout, and one what the hell just happened moment at a time. I'm Heather, and if you're navigating career shifts, fitness goals, parenting teenagers, or just wondering when the hell we became the grown-ups, you're in the right place. Let's talk about the real stuff, no filters, just honest conversations and a little bit of chaos. Let's get into it.
You know what's interesting? I've had so many conversations lately about sleep, like not falling asleep, staying asleep, that 2 or 3 a.m. wake up where you're just up, which I deal with that too. Like, and we're like, oh, this is what we're doing now. But recently, a couple things shifted for me. I cut back on drinking, which I know no one wants to hear, but it's helped. And the other thing that surprised me is our mattress. Helix sent us one, and I was honestly skeptical because we had just bought one like a year ago. I didn't think it was going to make a difference, but I'm actually sleeping better. Like fewer wake-ups, deeper sleep. I'm not as hot. It's just better. And I don't think that's the only reason, but it's definitely part of it. They do a sleep quiz that matches you to one, which made the whole thing pretty easy. Anyway, I didn't expect to have thoughts about a mattress, but here we are. If you want more information, I will drop the link in the show notes. Hi. I'm Heather Francis, and welcome to another episode of Midlife Moves. Today, we're going to talk boundaries, but not in the way you usually hear about them. Not what to say, not like scripted. These are boundaries that you should hold. I'm going to talk about boundaries in the moments that we don't say anything, because I had a moment at the gym that I still think about, not because of what someone did. I mean, that's kind of what someone else did, but more because of what I didn't do in that time. This guy starts talking to me. It's not unusual. I talk to everyone. When I tell you I talk to everyone in that space, I talk to everyone in that space. But this guy is talking and he's talking and he's talking and he just doesn't stop. And you know that feeling where you're just like, okay, this is going on a little longer than it needs to. And you're trying to give like nonverbal cues that, you know, the conversation has run its course and he's just not picking up on them and he keeps going. And it's getting weird. And I knew early this wasn't a normal interaction. It felt off and I did not end it. I stayed in it. I waited for him to walk away. I waited for him to wear himself out. And he just didn't. And it just escalated. He starts asking about what I'm doing. He's asking about the exercise that I'm doing. He wants to critique my form. I think I was doing cleans at the time. And now I'm like, now this is very weird. So then he says, can I touch your hips? It's okay. I'm a doctor. I'm not like I swear to God that this happened. Can I touch your hips? It's okay. I'm a doctor. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? No, thank you. And I didn't even end the conversation there. I just like waited for him to tire of it and wander away, which eventually happened. It doesn't even end there. The following week, I'm doing handstands. I'm on the mats. I'm doing my thing. I'm like minding my own business. And this guy comes back upstairs and I'm the only one up there. There might be one other person up there. And he throws a stability ball at me. This grown-ass man who claims to be a doctor. I don't know if that's true or not. We call him Dr. Douche. That's his nickname in my house. Anyway, throws a stability ball at me. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? So I grab the stability ball. I throw it back at him. And I just like looked at him and then went back to what I was doing. I was like, we're done here. And that was it. He never spoke to me again. I see him almost every week. I see him all the time. And he does not acknowledge me and I don't acknowledge him. And honestly, good. Like that's really the best. It's really the best thing that could possibly happen at this point. But as I'm thinking about the situation, as I was getting ready for this episode, and as I was thinking about the boundaries that I would put together as a result of this, it occurred to me that this wasn't even the only time I did something like this. I do this in smaller ways all the time. There was another time at the gym because, guys, I have no life. I go to the gym and Wegmans and home. That's it. I'm at the gym. I am on a cable machine, mid-set. And this guy comes up to me and he's like, I don't remember the reason he gave me. He's like, can I use this machine? And he gave me some bullshit excuse. And I was like, oh, sure. I actually left the machine. I gave him the machine. And I was like, I'll go use the other open machine because there were other open machines. And rather than him using one of those, he asked me to move and I did it for him like a dick. As I'm walking away, there was another woman that I'm friendly with there. And she was like, did you just do what I think you did? And I was like, I did. And I was so embarrassed. And I was like borderline ashamed. And she was like, you should not have done that. And I was like, I know. And she's like, I would have done the same thing, but you should not have done that. So I thought it was really interesting that she was able to point out to me what I should not have done. But she also acknowledged that she would have done the same thing because it's something that all of us kind of were raised to be nice, right? We don't want to be rude. We don't want to be difficult. We don't want to make things awkward. I've always tried to be perceived as easygoing, even though that's not really who I am. If you know me, you know that that's the case. And somewhere along the way, we start prioritize being liked over being honest. But being nice at the expense, and I don't even think it's being liked over being honest. Like I build a life around being accommodating, so once you start to abandon yourself in some areas, I think it just kind of naturally happens in other areas and you don't differentiate. At least that's my experience. I don't know. I could be way off on that. But being nice at the expense of yourself isn't kindness, it's self-abandonment. Here's the thing that I learned from those moments. I didn't avoid discomfort by staying quiet. I delayed it and it got worse and it escalated. It became more uncomfortable and it turned into a bigger situation than it would have been had I just excused myself from both conversations, had I just excused myself from that weird, from Dr. Douche early. And had I just said to the gentleman who wanted to use my machine, I'll be done in 10 minutes. So what could I have done differently? Not perfectly, but differently. And there are a few things that I'm working on. The first thing is acting on that initial feeling sooner. As soon as you know, something doesn't feel right here, not waiting for it to get weird enough to justify just trusting it early, not letting it get to the point where they're like, no, let me touch you. It's okay. I'm a doctor. The second thing I'm working on is not over-explaining. I didn't need to say anything more to either one of those men other than, it was nice meeting you. I'm going to get back to what I was doing. Or, as I said before, I'll be done in 10 minutes. Or just no, I'm not going to leave this machine. And then just move on, right? The hardest part with all of that is letting people have their reaction. Some people are going to think you're rude. Some people are going to think I'm rude. Some people are going to think you're difficult. But if your boundary only works when everyone agrees with it, then it's not really a boundary. This isn't something I'm naturally good at. This is something that takes an immense amount of work from me. I still catch myself doing it often, but I'm starting to trust that voice a little bit sooner. I'm learning that listening to it doesn't make me rude. It just makes me honest with myself. Do you know what else I do? I look at the situation. So say the cable machine situation, and I reframe it to myself. Would I ever ask that of someone else? And if the answer is no, that is a ridiculous request. I would never put this other person in that situation. That's kind of my own personal litmus test about, is this reasonable? And will I feel justified in being perceived as rude? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Anyway, if you see yourself in this, you're not alone. Maybe we start paying attention to those small moments. And instead of overriding ourselves, we just listen a little bit sooner. I hope that some of you saw yourself in this. And I hope that this gives some of you the courage to be a little bit more vocal about reasonable expectations of you. And I hope that all of us can be a little bit more honest with our boundaries and what makes us comfortable. Until next time.
That's it for this episode. If you had fun, learned something, or just feel a little less alone in the chaos, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you want to keep the conversation going, come find me on Instagram at @HeatherMoves_, because midlife is way more fun when we do it together. Until next time, keep moving forward, or at least keep moving. See ya.